Here it is, abbreviation R.C.O.R.S, or Reduced Capacity Office Reservation System. And in other words, a lot of offices are trying to let people come back in, but, want to still maintain safety. So here we have the solution for that. And this is our home screen. Basic common navigation across on the bottom. And all right, so let's move into making a new reservation. So we'll go ahead and click here. And on the screen, so we have an easy way for the user to choose their date. And then in the middle, we have a donut chart that gives the current capacity for reservations booked versus available. So we can see 205 there. So right now, what I can do is go ahead and submit my reservation for tomorrow, today actually. And go ahead. We're brought to a success screen, which automatically redirects to the My Bookings after 3 seconds. But we're going to go back real quick and show a few features of the new reservation system. So as you can see, the chart has updated 3 to 5, and the max here is 5, but we'll get into how to set that in the future. But so now I want to go ahead and say I come back and I forgot that I had made a reservation. So I'm going to go ahead and try to submit again. And here we can see an alert that says you've already booked for this date. And that shows up for about 4 seconds and gives some validation that you can't double book yourself. Another feature of the screen is that if we choose, let's see, go in, there's 4 or 5 on that day. If you try to choose a day that's already been fully booked, we disable the submit button so that so that we can maintain our numbers and don't violate our policies. So next, we'll jump over to the My Reservation. So simple screen giving you when you've signed up for. The user can easily go ahead and remove any that they're deciding that they're not going to attend and free up the spaces for other people. And then jump over to the 6-day outlook. So here I wanted to give a little advanced notice so people can see what days are available. And also as a bonus, if you want to see, hey, I want to get there when some of my other teammates are going to be there. So if you click on the graph, it'll show you what users have already signed up, and as well as give their profile pictures. So we can go around and choose the days that we want to go in. Now, one small feature here, and give credit to Todd Baginski, some users may not have a profile photo, so we're going to show a generic photo instead, so that's a nice experience. And then finally, we have an office info screen, and this is just a place where you can post your company's policies, procedures related to this new situation with capacity in the office. So now maybe let's show a few of the behind-the-scenes features that make this app. Let's go ahead to our developer screen. So first talk about data source. So actually the data source here is a SharePoint list made up of only 2 fields, and everything is being driven off of that. So we just have an employee field, which is of type people, and then we have a date requested, which is of type date. And that's all that's needed. So the real power of this app is coming from manipulating the data using collections. So let's go ahead and talk about some of those collections. So we have 3 collections. Go ahead and give those a view. 3 collections. So the first one is I'm grabbing a filtered view of all of the data set from the data source from our SharePoint list. And the second one is reservations by day. And there, what I'm doing is I'm grouping all the reservations by days. And then third, I'm doing a count of each of those groupings to see how many reservations are made for those days. So that's where the power comes, and that's where you can manipulate, your data, using these collections and shape it and form it to do what you want to do, which is where we use throughout the app. Talk about configuration. So if you want to go ahead and use this, it's really simple to do. So as you can see, you just need to create a simple SharePoint list with those 2 fields, and then in the app startup, I'm setting a variable for max capacity, and that's where I have set to 5. So depending on what your office's capacity is, we just need to change that variable to the number that fits that deal. And then the office info text is just right now just a plain text label area. So that can be easily changed. And besides swapping out your data source for mine, there you go. You can get rolling with this app right away. Just a couple other tech things I wanted to discuss. So for performance, we have no performance suggestions. So it's tip-top according to the checker. As you can see in the app on start, we're using the concurrent function where necessary to increase performance, setting and collecting things at the same time to save. And also one other thing I want to point out, best practice to only call functions like today and user once and store them, again, for performance hits, so we don't have to keep making those calls. Finally, on our submit button, also have some built-in error handling in case your data doesn't properly save to your data source. We're going to notify the user with a error notification to handle that. That is about it.
Lots of nice little patterns in the app there. I remember when Matt showed this to us on our internal company Scrum a few weeks ago. I was just blown away when he did the whole thing with 2 columns and 1 list. I was like, what? That's too easy. But it's just amazing. Just like going back to Michelle's demo here too, right? Like you have such amazing, powerful technology you built at your fingertips and you hardly had to do really any coding to build such a cool app. Yeah, real testament to the platform. That's great.
Did we give a woohoo? Woohoo!
Yeah.
I did upload the solution to the community app samples in case anybody wants to get a hold of it.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. See some folks in chat saying nice patterns and things. I agree. That error handling example you had right there is a nice one to lift out and stick into any Power App. That's for sure. Excellent. All right. Thanks again.